Today, I'm going to show you how to create a habit tracker in Google Sheets. The first step is, of course, to rename the spreadsheet. Change its name to Habit Tracker. Next, add 2 sheets to the file. The first sheet will be called Habit Tracker. The second sheet will be called Source. This is where we will enter the information used in our drop-down menus. To make the entire planner consistent, click the small square in the top left corner of the spreadsheet, as shown on the screen. This selects the entire sheet. Center the text, turn on text wrapping, and change the font. You can also adjust the font size. Next, reduce the width of the first and second columns. Adjust them so that they fit the overall layout of the spreadsheet in the planner. Now select columns F through Q, reduce their width, and then right-click to add several more columns. We need enough columns to create one column for every day of the month. After adding the columns, select columns F through AU and reduce their width so that they are all the same size. Next, add the title Habit Tracker. Merge the cells shown on the screen and enter the title. Below the title, create a small table where the user will be able to select the month and year. First, enter the labels month and year. Align the text to the left. Now we will create the drop-down menus. For this, we will use the source sheet. Open the source sheet. In the first column, enter the heading month, and in the second column, enter the heading year. In the year column, enter all the years you want to include. You can add many years so that the planner can be used for a long time. In the month column, enter January, and drag the fill handle down to automatically add the remaining months. Now return to the Habit Tracker sheet. Click Insert, select Drop-Down, and then choose Drop-Down from a range. Click Select Data Range, and select the range containing the month names on the source sheet. Repeat the same process for the year drop-down. For the display style, select Arrow instead of Chip. This will make the drop-down look cleaner. You can now test the drop-down menus by selecting a specific month and year. Next, go to row 6 and enter the formula shown on the screen. This formula will display the selected month and year together. At first, the result may appear as a number. Open the Format menu, select Number, and then choose Custom Date and Time. We want the date to display the abbreviated month name followed by the full year. You may be able to choose this format from the available list. If the format is not available, create it manually. Select the 3-letter month format, add a space, and then add the full year. Finally, align the result to the left. Now we can move to the main table, where we will enter and track our habits. In row 18, enter the heading Habits. Next, we want to add week labels above the small daily columns. For the first 7 columns, enter week 1. Copy the same layout for the following groups of 7 columns, continuing through week 4. We are not creating week 5 yet because we do not know exactly how many days it will contain. For now, create sections for the first 4 full weeks. In the row below the Habits heading, merge the appropriate cells and enter Daily Habit. This is where the habit names will be entered. Next to it, add a category section. Later, we will create a drop-down menu containing different habit categories. Now enter the first day of the selected month using the formula shown on the screen. The result may initially appear as a number, but we want it to display as a day of the month. Once again, open Custom Date and Time. Check whether the correct day format is available. If it is not, use the drop-down menu to create a format that displays only the day number. In the next column, enter a formula that adds one day to the previous cell. For example, use the previous date cell +1. Drag this formula across the row until you reach the final day of the month. The remaining days that appear after week 4 will form week 5. Add the week 5 label above those columns. In the row below the dates, enter a formula that references the date directly above it. However, we will change the display format. We want this row to show the first 3 letters of each weekday, such as Mon, Tuesday, Wed, and so on. Select the entire row and open the formatting options again. Instead of displaying a number, set the custom date format to show the abbreviated weekday name. Reduce the font size slightly and decrease the height of the rows above and below so that everything fits neatly. Next, we want the habits to be numbered. Enter the formula shown on the screen in the first numbering cell. The first habit will have the number 1. The number will not appear while the habit cell is empty. As soon as you enter a habit, its number will become visible. Drag the formula down and manually change the numbers in the formulas from 1 to 10. Continue until row 30. This will give us space for 10 different habits. Now select all the small daily tracking cells and click Insert, followed by Checkbox. Reduce the size of the checkboxes slightly so that they fit comfortably inside the cells. Next, we will create a drop-down menu for the category column. Click Insert, select Drop-down, and then choose Drop-down from Arrange. Return to the source sheet. I have already prepared a list called Habit Category. You can enter any categories that you want to use in your own planner. Select the category range and choose the arrow display style again. You will now be able to select a category for each habit from the drop-down menu. Adjust the width of the category column so that the category names fit properly and do not wrap onto multiple lines. Now we can create the summary section. Merge the appropriate columns and enter the title Monthly Progress Summary. Merge the first 3 columns in the section and enter Goal. The goal will be entered manually. Merge the next 3 columns and enter Actual. This section will automatically count how many times each habit has been completed. The final section will be called Progress. Later, we will also add a progress bar here. Merge the 3 cells used for the Progress heading. Do the same for the Goal and Actual headings so that all 3 sections have a consistent layout. In the Actual section, enter the formula shown on the screen. This formula will count how many times a particular habit has been completed during the selected month. Drag the formula down for all 10 habits. In the Goal section, enter the monthly target manually for each habit. As you can see, when we select the checkboxes, the actual value updates automatically. Next, use the small column that we left for the progress percentage. Enter the formula shown on the screen. It will calculate the progress for each habit during the selected month. Adjust the formula slightly so that no progress value is displayed for empty habit rows. Drag the formula down through the entire section. Change the number format to percentage and remove the unnecessary decimal places. Now we can create the progress bars in the final column. Enter the longer formula shown on the screen and copy it down for all of the habits. Test the tracker again. As you select and clear the checkboxes, both the progress percentages and the progress bars should update automatically. Now we can improve the visual appearance of the table. Add some color to the layout. You can use a slightly different color for each week so that the weekly sections are easy to distinguish. Add matching colors to the checkboxes. You can also use a green fill color in the actual column, where the formulas are located. This will remind you that these cells contain formulas and should not be deleted or edited manually. Reduce the font size slightly so that all the content fits properly inside the columns. Increase the font size of the main habit tracker title. Next, add borders. For the outer borders, use a solid gray line. For the internal borders, use dashed lines to separate the cells. This will give the spreadsheet a lighter and cleaner appearance. Apply the same border style to each part of the table. Turn on the grid lines temporarily so that you can check the overall alignment. Adjust the widths of all the columns if necessary. Once everything is aligned, you can turn the grid lines off again and continue working on the planner. We can also add conditional formatting to the checkboxes. When a checkbox is selected, we want its background color to become slightly darker and more saturated. Select the first checkbox range and enter the custom formula shown on the screen. Choose the color you want to use. Now, when you click a checkbox, its color will automatically become darker. Repeat the same process for every weekly section. When creating the conditional formatting formula, always reference the first checkbox cell from the selected range. We can also change the background colors slightly to make the weekly sections even easier to distinguish. Add a subtle background color to each week. Use a lighter shade of the color assigned to that week. Now we will create the daily progress columns. Merge rows 10 through 15 in the first daily progress column. Copy this layout across all the days of the month. In row 16, enter the formula shown on the screen. This formula will calculate the progress for each individual day. It will show how many of the planned habits were completed on that day. Drag the formula across to the final day of the month. Change the number format to percentage and remove the unnecessary decimal places. Reduce the font size so that the percentages fit inside the cells. Now add the visual progress bars. Enter the long formula shown on the screen in the first progress column and drag it across all the remaining columns. We want the progress bar color to match the checkbox color used for that week. Open the color settings and copy the hexadecimal color code of the relevant checkbox. For example, if the checkbox is blue, copy the hexadecimal code for that blue color. In the formula, replace the hexadecimal code highlighted on the screen with the code you have just copied. The progress column color will then automatically match the checkbox color. The most important thing is to copy the correct hexadecimal color code and replace the existing code in the formula. Add borders to these progress columns so that they are clearly separated from one another. You can turn the grid lines on and off while checking how the section looks. Next, we will create a small table showing the 5 best performing habits of the month. Number the rows manually from 1 to 5. Merge the necessary columns so that there is enough space to display the habit names. In the first result cell, enter the longer formula shown on the screen. This formula will automatically display the 5 habits with the highest completion percentages during the selected month. The results should now appear automatically. For example, if yoga has the highest completion percentage, it will move to the top of the table. Now add a similar formula for the progress values. Copy the previous formula and change the first range so that it returns the percentage values instead of the habit names. Align the percentages to the right. Adjust the header color and add borders around the table. Next, we will create a chart for the daily average progress. Merge the required cells and enter the formula shown on the screen. This formula will calculate the average completion percentage. Change the result to percentage format, remove the unnecessary decimal places, and increase the font size. In the additional columns, create a small supporting table that will be used to generate the chart. Enter the labels done and to do. The done value is the average progress that we have already calculated. The to-do value is 1 minus the completed progress. This value will update automatically. Select the supporting table and click Insert Chart. We want the chart to be empty in the center. Remove the border and background so that the chart is transparent. Change the colors of the chart sections so that they match the rest of the planner. That section is now complete. Next, we will create another chart showing daily progress. This time, we will use a smooth area chart. Create the chart by following the steps shown on the screen. Hide the grid lines or change them to white. Add data labels so that every day displays its own completion percentage. Change the area chart color to a dark purple or black and purple shade. We also want the chart line to be smooth, so adjust the chart settings and refine its appearance. Now we have reached the final part. We will add a pie or donut chart showing the total progress for the selected month. First, merge the cells shown on the screen. Add the heading Your Progress. A little lower, enter the formula shown on the screen. This formula will show how many habits have been completed by comparing the actual results with the goals. It will also display the overall completion percentage. Enter the additional formula shown on the screen to calculate this value. For this chart, create another supporting table with the labels done and to do. Follow the same process as before and click Insert Chart. Change the chart colors so that they match the rest of the planner. Hide the columns containing the supporting calculations. For each chart, make sure the required checkbox or chart setting shown on the screen is selected. Otherwise, the chart may not display correctly. Finally, hide any empty rows that are no longer needed. And that's everything. Your habit tracker is now complete. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions.